Wonderful. So what we're looking at here is the ideal opportunity to kick off your Christmas. And when I say kick off your Christmas, specifically, I'm looking at how you can make use of low-cost targeted advertising on Facebook, and it is really low-cost targeted advertising, unless obviously you've got massive audiences. It's making use of ads like this one here, but without the video perhaps, and it's making use of the adverts on the side here on desktop, and otherwise potentially another video ad typical. I'm just trying to show you an image ad for the moment, but let's see if we can see an image ad. So another video ad. Blimey, Sunday night, it must be video night. And so here we are. So just a typical sort of image ad. These are the 1200 by 628 ads. They're what are sometimes known as dark posts as well. So a dark post is a post that doesn't appear on your timeline on your page, but does appear on other people's news feeds as an ad, and they are normally this kind of size, this kind of shape. So I'm going to look at this from two directions, really. One very specifically, which I've talked about in the run-up to this, is going to be using LinkedIn. So if you're a coach, if you're in a B2B environment of any kind, then this is absolutely perfect for you, because in this particular instance, it means that you can meet up with people on LinkedIn and then drag them over to Facebook and just pump away little tiny ads at them on Facebook. If you're not in a B2B environment, then there's a slightly different way of starting the ball rolling, which does involve setting off some Facebook ads. But in either event, what we're going to be doing ultimately is retargeting people and using retargeted ads, which are incredibly, incredibly powerful. It's as simple as that, if they're set up right. And that's the point. Lots of people try this, don't get it right, and then then they run into problems from there. So I think, perfect. Thanks a lot, Kim, for that question. Probably best actually putting it in the chat, I think, rather than on Facebook. But anyway, so that's it. So that's where we're going to go, and we're going to start off by looking at LinkedIn. So if you look at LinkedIn, here's LinkedIn, and in fact, let's look at LinkedIn proper, shall we? So so here we are on LinkedIn, and we've got LinkedIn, the news feed, and LinkedIn's news feed, just like Facebook, is also the same place that you would actually start off with a post. So I'm going to look at how you can direct people from LinkedIn to an offer. Let's find the right page. To an offer on your website. So here's the 6 O'Clock Club website. So to an offer on here, and then from there, how you can capture those people using the Facebook pixel into an audience and then advertise to them on Facebook. So we're going to run through that entire process, and we're also going to go off on a tangent and see how you can sort of start the conversation on Facebook. And what we're looking at to really focus here is that laser targeting. So this is really focusing on people that are already one way or another hot to buy. They're not sort of cold prospects. You've had some kind of dialogue with them somewhere along the line. And in doing that, you've got them here to a landing page on your website, and then subsequent to that will be showing up in their Facebook. So if we start on LinkedIn, two ways round of doing this, very simply. So one is to create a post. And if we create a post and then start getting some engagement on that post, so just like down here below, you can see Simon Nunn has shared a post, and this is about the Plymouth incinerator. 75 people have liked it, one person has commented. And just like on Facebook, if you open up those likes, these are all the people that have liked that post. So let's pretend for the moment that we were actually wanting to engage people in conversation on this particular subject, which is the Plymouth incinerator, Well, there are 75 people that have liked this post. So these are a good place to start, quite frankly. Because these 75 people, there's no reason why we can't message, if this was our post, Chris Ford, and say, hi, Chris. Thanks very much for liking my post. If you want to know more about all of this, why don't you take a look at the website? Yeah, so we're going to do this up here. We're going to create a post, and we never know. By the end of this session, we might even have somebody that's liked it or commented on it. Something along the lines of, are you head down for Christmas? Help if I can spell. Head down for Christmas, or not even started thinking about it yet. Yeah. In fact, head down in your Christmas marketing. Okay. I've been working on a foolproof method to capture leads and generate new business. Want to know more? Comment below or message me. Yeah, very simple, very to the point. And what we're going to do is I'm going to put an image in there. Where did I put this? Hold on. In this one, I think. Okay, so we've got an image that's going to go in there as well. So put a spring in your step, kick off your Christmas campaign. Fantastic. So are you head down your Christmas marketing or not even start thinking about it yet? I've been working on a foolproof method to capture leads, generate new business for Christmas and the new year. Want to know more? Comment below or message. Okay, so pretty straightforward. So we post that, yeah, and here it is, the post going out onto LinkedIn, and it's been set to public, so everybody gets to see it. Not a lot of people are going to see this. We're recording it, and we're recording it on a Sunday night. Let me just send somebody a message. Okay, and so now we put a post out, so we have the opportunity for people to like, comment, or share this post. Chances of them sharing, to be frank, something like this are pretty slim, but there's something out there into the universe. And obviously, a bit like this post down below, anybody that does like that post, we have the opportunity to go back, say, thanks for liking the post. Did you want to know some more? Go and have a look. And what we're going to do, whether it's this method or by taking the people that we're connected to, and here they are, in my case, lots. So here, for instance, I could pick somebody from LinkedIn, and so there's Kim Dixon, who I'm connected to. She happens to be watching this live. So I'm going to message Kim and say, hi, Kim, kid. I've been playing, in fact, not playing, I've been testing some new ideas on using LinkedIn and Facebook for lead generation. Care to take a look? Yeah, now I'm going to be tricking her in this instance because I've actually set up a landing page, and this landing page that's here is not going to answer that question. But in an ideal world, this would be the page that answers that question without it being a sales pitch for a couple of workshops. So this is something else that I've been doing over the course of the last day or so, is 2 workshops that I'm running specially for Christmas. And we're doing them on a buy one, get one free. So this is very deliberately, this is pretty much what I'm talking about right now, but on a much greater scale. We've extended it into a whole day's worth of workshop and go into a lot more detail. And then this is my Super Socialize Me workshop. So I'm going to use this page just for the hell of it, and just to demo how all of this works. So we've got a link. in that post. So there it is, and we'll press enter to send. So now we've sent a message to an individual. And what I'm hoping is that that individual takes a look at that page, but not yet, because I don't yet have the pixel set up on there. And that's the secret sauce that really makes this work. And what we're going to do while we're online, or while we're running through this program, is I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Yeah. So now we've got two different ways round. I think, if I remember rightly, we said about commenting below. But what we could do here is actually edit this and include. In fact, we can include the link. Is a real cheat now. So we're going to include that link. So we've got two different ways that somebody can actually see what we're up to here about our Christmas campaign. So they can either come to a message, they can come to a page from on the website from a post, or they can come from messaging below or liking, and in that case I'll go back and say thank you very much and send them a personal message. So that's the sort of the start of it. That was LinkedIn, and that was basically the only part that LinkedIn is going to play in this. But if you were using LinkedIn wisely, and specifically using the search on LinkedIn, let's say you're looking for business owners, they're a different matter, you don't want those. So business owner, so people that describe themselves as a business owner on LinkedIn, and then we specify specifically that they want to be in, say, the Plymouth area. Yeah, so we've now got Plymouth, United Kingdom. Apply that to it, and they're going to be first connections. So we apply first connections. This is actually 600 people who describe themselves as a business owner in the Plymouth area. And these are people that I could be running through and thinking, Rob might be interested in this, or Tom, or John, or Lucy, David, etc., and sending them a message in the way that I've just sent to Kim. So I'm not just indiscriminately sending messages, I'm actually being choosy about the people that I'm connecting to and thinking, well, this one could well benefit, that one could well benefit, and giving them something of value. And this is important. To be showing up, adding value is my mantra. Yeah, it's as simple as that. Yeah, I really do believe it's important to show up, add value consistently. So what we want to be doing, ideally, is be sending those people to a page. So I think we'll even put it, there it is. We'll even edit this page up so that it's much more about Christmas and much more about that Christmas campaign. Gives a little bit of information as a teaser, and then leads people into pressing a button to buy a workshop. So that's that. So we've just about finished with LinkedIn. We've got people message. We've got people on a post. We'll put a post up, and hopefully people will like that post, comment on that post, and there are people we can engage with there. And in a bit of a roundabout way, I've shown you how you would actually knuckle down and search for the people on LinkedIn that you might want to individually message. So that was LinkedIn. So what's the next stage in this? Well, obviously, people have landed on this page. So some of those people that land on this page will go to your call to action straight away, and they'll go, yeah, fantastic. I just want to click here and just buy this thing now. Or I think down below it says buy one, get one free. And they'll do it. It's that simple. So those people, if they were clicking here, I'm going to show you a little trick, something I use frequently now, takes them directly to a PayPal Me button. So this is just pay me 97 quid, which is the cost of these two workshops put together, and it would just literally take them straight there. And it also says here, click the button above, and it gives people directions to where all the dates are published, and it says contact me to let me know you've done it, and so on. So it's not just sending them off to give me money; it's giving them some kind of instruction. So that's something that they could be doing from here, taking a direct action. But what about those people that don't hit the button, the people that don't click to buy? Well, these are the ones that we start getting. We use that sneaky Facebook pixel. So you can see up here, I use a thing called a Chrome extension, which is the Facebook Pixel Helper, and this actually shows you on any website, not just on mine, that there are pixels installed. So if you run Chrome as your browser and then install the Facebook Pixel Helper, so you can find that, you can just do a general Google search for Facebook Pixel Helper Chrome extension, and that will tell you two things. One, if your Pixel is working properly, and it will also tell you if your competitors are running ads, because if they're running ads seriously, they're likely to have that Pixel. So how do you get the Pixel there in the first place? That's going to be the next thing we look at. So very conveniently, over here, I have an ad account. It's my test account, so there's no ads running on it at the moment, and any ads that I put on here tend to get put on for testing purposes and close down almost immediately afterwards. But the good news is that we can go and have a look at creating some stuff here, and you see it fairly cleanly. And take a little sip. Sunday night, so it's gin and tonic. Thank you very much. So we're looking at the back end of Facebook Ads Manager, and it is, for most of you at least, it will be facebook.com/ads manager/manage. So that's the URL. All of this business after this tells you that I'm in this particular ad account and so on. But otherwise, we're looking at Facebook Ads Manager at the back end. And up here on the top left-hand side on a desktop or laptop machine, which is the only place really you can do this properly. You can't do it properly on a tablet or a phone. You come down here and open everything up, and these are all the sort of the bits in the back end of Ads Manager. Well, the bit that we're particularly looking at right at the moment is this. I mean, it's literally front and center in front in this list, which is pixels. So we're going to click on pixels. So for those of you who don't know, pixel is just a cookie. So you see often on websites, do you accept these cookies? And it's a tracking cookie, and that tracking cookie is there to track activity. So I'm going to install this, and I'm going to show you sort of how it works as well. So we've got no activity because we haven't set it up properly, but we have actually created it. This is the number. So this is a unique number for this particular cookie or pixel. So in order to set it up, we click that Set It Up. And we've got three different things we can do. We can use what's called an integration or tag manager. So if you use Google Tag Manager, or if you're using Shopify or Wix or BigCommerce, various other e-commerce platforms, you might decide to use an integration or tag manager. You can manually install the code yourself, or you can email instructions to a developer. So if you're not at all keen and you've got somebody else that looks after your website for you, this is probably the best route to take, because then they can take care of it for you. If you're at all confident that you can put things into the right place, the tag managers or the integration things here are relatively straightforward. You literally just follow the process. So if it was, how do I install the Facebook Pixel on BigCommerce or on Shopify, then you can Google that and follow the instructions, and they will tell you exactly how to put it on there. Ordinarily, it is just the number that I showed you earlier, I highlighted just now, that you would put into that tag manager. You don't actually have to put the code in. Or you can manually install the code. So the code goes into the header of your website. So every website at some point has this in the top. It'll say open the head, and the head is that sort of bit that you don't really see. It's sort of underneath the toolbar. As I move this down, you can see there's a little bit of grey at the top there where the arrow is, and that's the head of the website. So that contains all the information about the website and how to put it together. Whether it's a Facebook website or your own website, it's all contained up in that top part. And then this is the visual part of the site. So what we will do is put a little bit of code into that area at the top of your website. And this involves a bit of editing, or it involves using an integration tool or a management tool like the ones that we just said with Shopify, etc. But there are others as well. And for most people that might have a WordPress website, certainly that's a plug-in into the back end of your WordPress website will sort this. So this bit that keeps highlighting itself blue is the Facebook code. And essentially what it says is if somebody rocks up on this website, yeah, rush off to Facebook and see if they've got an account. And if they've got an account and we've been told to add them to an audience, let's do it. And if we haven't been told to add them to an audience, let's track them anyway. Because this is how Facebook find out that you've been on websites and start determining interest from your web browsing by all the people that have put the Facebook pixel onto lots and lots of websites, even if they're not actually using it effectively. So we're going to copy that code. We're going to continue. I'm not going to start showing you all of this bit here. This is what's called the events. So this gets much more complicated, and this is the kind of stuff that we do as well, not even a full day. I can't cover everything in a full day. So, but this is what's called event parameters. So this would actually specify, did people click a button, add to cart? Did they go to the checkout? Did they complete the registration? Did they add payment info? I mean, there's all sorts in here and a lot more. So yeah, because if something doesn't fit, you can then start putting your own events in there, which yeah, involve, did they press the red button and the blue one, but not the green one, and so on. Murder. So, so we're going to go on ahead and say, yes, that's it, we're done. If you were emailing your instructions to your web developer, you would click here. But we've finished with this for the moment. We've actually got the code. And what I'm going to do is open a note so I can edit out the bit that I want. So I'm going to just paste that into a note. So you can see here, I've just pasted all of that into a note on the Mac. And we're going to use a bit of that in a second. So the next thing we want is to come out of here and go and have a look at the back end of our website. So this is the website. This is actually the 6 O'Clock Club website. And the 6 O'Clock Club website, like many websites, is built on WordPress. And in this particular instance, we use a theme called Divi, which is one of the most common themes now on WordPress. And Divi is wonderful because it actually comes with an option to put this code straight into the back end of Divi. But there is another way of doing it. If you weren't using Divi, a good way of doing it is to use this plugin. So here's a plugin called Pixel Your Site. And Pixel Your Site is another way of putting your pixel on there. So I'm going to show you both ways just purely for the hell of it. So so let's go to the Divi customizer, because the Divi customizer, in fact, we're going to show you the sort of the real hardcore way of doing it as well. So the hardcore way would be this. So this is the theme editor. This is the bit that all of your web developers will tell you, don't go anywhere near it. And I'm going to answer somebody's question in a second while we're here as well. So don't go anywhere near this. This is the code that builds your website. And in the back end of this, you have the opportunity, yeah, there we are, to look at that header that we talked about. Yeah. So let's just look at that. It's loading a little bit slowly, but it's getting there. And do you remember that we had that thing that said head, and then we had that sort of close head symbol. So that's head, but with this backslash in it. So we could put something in here. And if we put it in here, that's fine. But if we update the theme, it might potentially overwrite our code, and then we would have to go back in and do it again. So this is where we used to do it, if you like, when we first started using Facebook, the Facebook Pixel, so certainly sort of 5 years ago. This is where it would have gone. We now put it into the website through one of a couple of other means. So another way of doing it is simply, there we go, we went a long bit, so theme options, which we've gone to. Another way of doing it is using that Pixel Your Site. So this is the plugin, so we can enter a Facebook pixel in here. And then that literally, yeah, we save it, I think, down at the bottom, save the settings, and that will put the Facebook pixel on. And this also, in its pro version, does some of those events that we were looking at earlier. So this is one way of doing it. And if you were adding events, this might actually be a way that you would want to put it in. The pro version, obviously, you have to pay for. The basic version, you don't. Lots of what you want to do using the pixel, you can actually do with without having to create events. So we're going to not use this, but I just want you to know that it's there, and this is probably Pixel Your Site, the Pixel Your Site plugin, probably the best of the plugins that you could be using. But what we're going to do is, because we're using Divi, we're going to use this integration tool. So this enables us to add code to the head of the blog or the head of the website without actually having to go in and add the code in the main source header. So this puts it in, but puts it into more or less a child theme. And you can see here that I've already entered the Facebook code. So here it is, and it says, when people turn up, the call method, how do we get there, what do we do, etc. And there are 2 pixels already here. So 2 different pixel codes for 2 different ad accounts. So what we could do is paste the whole thing in all over again, but because we're a little bit trickier than that, we're just going to use the code itself. So this bit, I'm going to come back to the note. So I don't know if you can read this. Let me just make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Yeah, because when you're looking at this on a phone later in the bath, you won't be able to see it at all. So we're going to add this bit, which is the pixel number, and we're going to take that and we're going to add it in here. Yep, so that's that one done, and we can just send it back to, to there. That'll do. It won't make any difference where it is on that line. And then we need to add, in this instance, another line here, which we're going to pick up and copy and paste. And obviously we need to change that number because that number there is the same number as the one above. So we're going to go back to here, just pick up the number. So this is the pixel, it ends in 472, which you can hold me to in a minute when it comes to testing this. Yeah. So we're going to paste that over the top of this very carefully. So there it is. So we've successfully installed that pixel code in with 2 others. So there were 2 there already. We've just put a 3rd in. Don't worry about this little bit here. This is we get away with this for some reason. I don't quite know why it comes up as an error. I'm not a hardcore coder, and I'm sure somebody who is may be able to answer that question. But certainly, let me tell you now for a fact, this works. So if you were running Google Analytics, which we're not at the moment, this is a brand new site. We've not actually put the analytics on it, which would be naughty of me. We can put the analytics in there, but in any event, we need to save the changes. And then we can test whether it's working. So we've just put that in there. Yeah, so that's it done. We can test whether it's working by refreshing this page. So it doesn't matter which page of your website you refresh. We'll just refresh this one. And can you see up here now, I think that ended in 472. And there it is. So it says that it works on a page view that it loaded in 32.6 microseconds, which is pretty damn quick. I don't think I can drive that fast. And so we have the pixel now successfully installed on the website. Yeah. So what happens next? Well, what happens next is that anybody, as I said, that visits this page, somebody that visits this page can be paid. The pixel will fire. And they can be added to an audience in our ad account. It will also pick up the traffic generally for Facebook because there are permissions in all of this that Facebook will be tracking you. And one way or another, you've been noted that you're here. So the question I'm often asked is about this pixel. Does it work? Can you actually separate out pages? And sure, you can. So you can have one pixel. In fact, in the In a private ad account, so if it's an individual ad account rather than a business manager account, you would only have one pixel. But that pixel can then pick up audiences based upon individual pages. So in this instance, secret landing page is a different page from the home page, from the blog page, and from any other page on here. So we can create audiences to each of those different pages. So you can segment your business effectively, or certainly segment the different parts of it. Let's say you sold flowers and you sold furniture and you sold fences. First thing I could think of that began with F. So you have 3 different things, and each one of those things could become a separate audience and part of a separate funnel of advertising. So that you don't need more than one pixel. These are a unique reference locator, is it? I can't remember what URL stands for, dreadful. But that is what determines the audience. And I'm going to show you this in a sec. So, so this is secret landing page. Yep, fantastic. And what we need to do now is head back to the ad account. Not that one, that's not the ad account. Head back to the ad account, and now we need to create an audience. So if we go to Event Manager, back to Event Manager up here on the top, and now Audiences, and it will show us a page of audiences. So here are some, in fact, yeah, this is from a test I did last time, actually. We were looking at women that were engaged to be married. So anyway, we're going to create an audience. So click here, Create Audience. It's a custom audience. So we click on Custom Audience. I'll make this slightly bigger as well. Fantastic. And in Custom Audience, we've got lots of different options. Customer File is where you've got pre-existing data in terms of email addresses and mobile phone numbers. You can upload that to Facebook. And this is what, when I was talking about LinkedIn, what some people used to do, it's now strictly against terms and conditions and the GDPR to do this, but you can export all your contacts on LinkedIn, and then you can upload them in as a file, and then you can get into all kinds of trouble for doing it. But if you've got an email database where you've got permission to market to those people, then that would be one kind of audience. Others, as you go down through here, we're going to focus on this website traffic, but others would be app activity. If you have an app, so people that actually play the app or launch the app, took specific actions on your app. This is offline activity. This is pretty tricky stuff because this involves linking up your EPOS system, your whole sort of point of sale and transactional system in your store with Facebook. And you can track people that come into your shop 2 weeks later, and you know that they're coming in relation to an ad that they've seen on Facebook, for instance. Very, very clever stuff. And this is engagement on your Facebook or your Instagram. So this is where people that have liked your page, or they've commented on posts, or watched videos, or clicked to say, yes, I want to come to an event, and so on and so on. But that's for another day. What we're looking at here specifically is website traffic. So people that have actually visited the website. So if you remember the sequence of what we've done so far, we've sent somebody a message on LinkedIn, or we've put up a post on LinkedIn, they've commented. Subsequent to that, we've taken them off to our secret landing page, and this is one page on the website. It's not the home page, it's not the general sort of pages. It's a page that specifically relates to the thing that we've been talking about on that post. Then from there, the Facebook pixel has fired off, and then the next thing is we want to use that pixel to add them to an audience. So this is Mike T Test Accounts Pixel, and we want all website visitors in the past 30 days, not. What we actually want are people who visited specific web pages, and they had to contain secret landing page with the hyphens, because this is exactly what was up here, there, in this page. It says secret landing page. That identifies that one page. So come back to Ad Manager. So it has to contain secret landing page, and we can run this for as long as 180 days. I tend, if I'm running a master audience, so people that have visited every single, well, not every single, any page on a website, then I'll run it for 180 days, because these are people that have visited my website at some point in the last 180 days. But in this instance, where we are running a specific offer, so we're talking about Christmas, etc., and we want people that are still warm to that, I would run it for less. And in fact, what I would run this for is the last 15 days at most. And the only reason for running it as long as 15 days is to try and get the numbers up to create a lookalike audience, potentially. So it contains secret landing page, no other thing at all. And this one is, we need to give it a name, obviously. So I would call this website, or Web East. Website, it looks better, and kick off Christmas campaign. So ignore the content of the page. When it's changed, this is exactly what it'll be about. So it's kick off the Christmas campaign, and we create the audience. So this is going to track people that have visited that specific web page, the one that includes secret landing page. And we've called it that, and we create the audience. So what will happen now is that anybody that visits that page, if they have a Facebook account and the Facebook account has been open in the browser, then that will fire off a pixel and add them to this audience. We can find new people similar to this. So if we're looking for people similar, this has been mucky. The last couple of days it's not worked. So I'll show you how to create the lookalike audience. So the lookalike audience is that percentage of the UK or any other country that you specify who look most like the people that have visited that page. So if we come in here, we got create a lookalike, and we're going to look for United Kingdom. So there's United Kingdom. I just ran some ads for somebody in the States, actually. This was, and so same thing. We just looked here for a lookalike of the USA. So we'd started, because her business so far has been primarily UK based, she's picked up around about 6,000 people that have liked her Facebook page. So we started with that 6,000 odd people and people that have visited her website. And then we said, okay, this is great. Can we have an audience that looks like this, but they're in the USA? And Facebook said, yeah, sure, you can have any country you want. You could have had the United Arab Emirates while we were there. But so that's that. So we've got the United Kingdom. This tells you it's 1% of the UK population. So its estimated reach is 412,000. For some reason, they this sort of lagging behind, because there's, according to Facebook, about 43 million people on Facebook in the UK. But this picks up, certainly an audience that's big enough for you. And at 1%, that's pretty tightly like the kind of people that have actually either visited your page or visited your website, etc. Yeah, and just looking here, the question that I've had, app activity is on native apps, yeah, not web apps. But web apps would pick up on the URL. So let's create that audience. So this is the lookalike of the people that have visited the page. Now, bear in mind, at the moment, we don't think anybody's actually visited it, because we've just created the page and we've just created the audience. But over time, over the course of the next few days, that's exactly what would happen. We would get ourselves to a position, let's just refresh that, where people would visit, when it arrives, the website Kickoff Christmas campaign. At the moment, it says it's below 1,000 and it's populating, which of course it is below 1,000. Any figure below 1,000, because of secrecy and what have you, or privacy, not secrecy, Facebook won't report the actual figure. They used to report as soon as it got to 20. You couldn't advertise if there was less than 20. Now it just tells you the audience is too small here. or audience not created in this particular instance. But it will just tell you that the audience is too small to advertise to. And if it says that, it means there's less than 20 people. It'll also tell you the audience is small when you're setting up an ad, but that's a different thing altogether. If it says that it's ready and it's less than 1,000, you can advertise to them. It's as simple as that. So here's our audience of 1,000. Here's the lookalike audience, and that's populating. I know it says ready in both of these instances, but believe me, neither of them are yet ready for advertising too. So that's it. So we now have an audience, this website kickoff Christmas campaign, and we know that anybody in that audience is only there because they've visited this page on Facebook. That's it. They can't be in that one. Okay, yeah. So they can't be in this this page. I just a note about these buttons, but I'm not at all concerned about that. That's not part of where we're at for this particular video. So as I said, the only people that are in this particular audience here, this website kickoff Christmas campaign, are people that have visited this specific website page in all of the world. It's that simple. They can't otherwise be on there. Somebody else could have those words, secret landing page, but they wouldn't have the pixel, this 4472 pixel, which is the one that we're using for the audience. Yeah. So simple as that. So where do we go next? Well, the next thing is that we want to create an ad. So back into Ad Manager, and then we'll go to Ad Manager itself. And in Ad Manager, we'll create an ad. And we're going to create an ad, and we'll see whether Facebook actually lets us do it or not. Because it may balk at the fact that the audience doesn't work yet. But anyway, we're going to do it, and we're going to run you through it as if it was working. So this is an ad, and I said at the beginning when I showed you on Facebook that some ads could be dark ads. They won't actually appear in the timeline of, in this case, Social Bakers, but they will appear in front of audiences as ads, and that's what we're going to create. So if we go back here to Ad Manager Creation, we're going to be sending people with this ad to a website, so it's for traffic. We could be creating other types of ad, but in this particular instance, we're going to call it traffic. And with traffic, we come down, press continue. We're not going to do any split testing. We're not going to optimize budgets. We'll give it an ad set name just for good practice. So kickoff Christmas 1. And where do we want to drive traffic? We're going to drive them to a website because we don't have an app, and we're not going to get involved in messenger ads at the moment. Certainly not with this. We don't have a dynamic creative. The dynamic creative tends to be if you've got a catalog, and you can upload your catalog, and then you've got all sorts of things that then you've got the very specific ads, that retargeting. You look at a pair of shoes, you don't buy them. Next thing you see the shoes all over the internet. We don't have an offer. We're just going to go for a straightforward ad. So looking here, we get the opportunity to put in our custom audiences. So this was the one that we just created. So website kickoff Christmas campaign. We're happy to target everybody in the UK. We could, for instance, say, no, we just want the people in the Plymouth area because we're running workshops in Plymouth, and again in London because we're running workshops in London. And then this would drill down those two areas. And we can obviously play around with this. I've specified it at 25 miles. We could make it no miles, so it's just London, or we could make it 50 miles around, or we could start picking out postcodes. There's lots of different things we can do with this. But this, for the minute, is just literally to show you the principle. We're going to advertise to everybody, men and women, and we don't mind whether they're 18 or 80. We're not going to include any detailed targeting, so we could niche it down here. But this is already a small audience of people that have specifically visited the website or that one page. So we don't really need to detail it down anymore. We're just after people that visited that page, and in this instance that didn't buy, to encourage them to come back. If you want to get involved in the didn't buy, we could actually have two different audiences, and that would be people that visited that website kickoff Christmas campaign, and we would take away the ones that went through to the checkout if you had a checkout. But in this instance, we're just going to keep it quite broad. So we come down here, we don't want connection types. This is people who like your page, etc. This is relevant to this particular ad. And then we have the option for automatic or to edit placements. So why would you want to edit the placements? Let me just show you. So we're going to run an ad that will work best in a feed or in an instant article. It will also work in a right column as a desktop, although these days there's only around about 15% of people that exclusively use the desktop, and marketplace ads and stories. We're not going to do stories because you can see the shape of a story ad is not the shape of the marketplace, right column, instant article, or feed. So we're going to knock stories out. And then Instagram, if we were to put this into Instagram again, you can see how it's altered the shape. So for our purposes here, we're going to knock out Instagram. Audience network is where it's appearing on other people's websites, so not on Facebook. This would be where it's on the Daily Telegraph or the Guardian or the Washington Post, etc., sort of websites. And again, this doesn't give a lot to us, so we're going to knock that out. And then Messenger, this is brand new. Yep, so Messenger is worth putting it into. For the sake of the few ads that Facebook might show you in Messenger or might show in Messenger, it's actually worth putting it in. So we've kept it to Facebook feed, which is the mobile and the desktop feed. Instant articles. So an instant article is where the Washington Post, for instance, or the Times newspaper have preloaded pages that literally load like this. So it's going into that. So that's worth doing. Right column, marketplace, and then we've forgotten about audience network. Yeah. If I'm saying we've forgotten about, we should have done just audience network. We're not doing the videos. Right. So come on down again. We can decide, do we want just mobile devices or not? So no, we're going to leave all mobile. We're not going to specify Android and iOS. And we could have specified up here that we just want mobile or desktop, but we're going to keep that open. Budget and schedule. Well, we've got tiny audience. So we could actually decide that we want to run this, for £1 a day. As simple as that. So you'll spend no more than £7 a week. If you had slightly larger audiences, you can start putting in 2s and 3s and what have you. But I'm very successfully running this kind of retargeting for £1 or £2 a day, depending on how big that audience has got. So let's just put it in at £2 just for the laugh. Right now. Come on down through. Do we want to get more people to your ads landing page? We can switch to landing page views. In this instance, we're not going to bother. We're just literally going to leave it as link clicks, and we continue. So now we continue, and we've got the opportunity to either create an ad or use an existing post. So using an existing post is not the thing that we want to be doing here. This is retargeting people who have visited your website. This is not there for everybody to see. Yeah. Now you think, well, why are you doing that? And the reason is because you can then measure the effectiveness against the number of people that 100 people visit your website, 100 people get to see this ad, and how much you're spending and what are you actually getting back from it. If you had this as a general post, you wouldn't be able to measure that so easily. Okay, so your business is represented in ads by its Facebook page. So we've got the 6 o'clock club page, and we're creating an ad. So we come down here. We're going to need now. First thing we're going to need in this instance, we're omitting this instant experience. Brilliant, but we're not going to go into that. Not for this purpose. So now we need an ad, and we can browse the library and find that we don't actually have anything in there much at all. There's some Albion stuff and various other bits and pieces, or we can upload an image. So we're now going to go and find the image that we had earlier. So in an ideal world, we would be using this image on the post on LinkedIn to get them to the website. We would use the same image on the top of the website, and now we're going to use the image in an ad. Yeah. So, and what we're going to do is send them back here. So we need this in the URL. So enter text that clearly tells people what you're promoting. Well, we can go back to our own post. Oops, not there. And see if it's actually, yep, conveniently it's still sitting there. And we take the text that we have there and we make it familiar here. So can you see how this is now an ad that reflects the post on LinkedIn? But all we're going to do is change this a little. So what this will say here, because this is going to people that have visited the website, but they've not clicked through to find out more. We're going to, oops, wrong one. We're going to have something in here along the lines of still not started thinking about your Christmas marketing. Or maybe you think you have it covered. So this is where you can start getting a bit cheeky with people. Yeah. Bearing in mind that that page would have been saying, yeah, here's a great way that, if you'd like to learn more about a guaranteed foolproof method of capture, yeah, click below. And it's literally something like you've nothing to lose and everything to gain. Okay, so so now this is going to people that have already seen your ad but haven't taken positive action, and they're coming through now, and now they're going to see, well, not seen your ad, rather, they've seen a post, or they've had a message, they've visited your page, but they've not taken a positive action, and now they're getting something that says still not started thinking about your Christmas marketing. So we get the opportunity to change the headline. So reinforce, learn how to guarantee extra business for your business this Christmas. So just constantly reinforcing it. This we're looking at here is the mobile version. So if we look at the desktop version, you can see how this comes out all together. Ideally, we want to try guarantee extra business for your, well, they would have to click more to learn more. So we could say something along the lines of guaranteed extra business for you this Christmas. Still not going to get in there on the mobile, but yeah, keep it like that. Call to action is learn more. We don't want an overlay over the top of it, so the display link here will link as 6o'clockclub.com. We could change the description that we put into the news link. This, hold on a second. See where it says here, don't miss the boat, we're on a mission to help you get blah blah. So guaranteed extra business for you this Christmas, a simple foolproof method using, and can you see how it's already changing here? A simple foolproof way to get more business, more clients, let's say, using the same method we do to show you this. So we can even, no, it's not going to give too many words. So what can we put in here? Guaranteed extra business for you this Christmas using right, how's that? So now we're being upfront and we're actually telling people that they're going to get the same method that we do to show you this ad. Yeah. So that's it. So we now have an ad. So we have an ad that that has some nice text in it. Yeah, and we can make this longer. We can do all sorts of things with it. Yeah, certainly it's worth testing your copy to see what works one against another. So there's no reason why you couldn't run two versions of this ad, use the same image, and then change the copy, or alternately use the same copy and change out the image. And that way, by doing that, I'm running ads at the moment that we're running 12 different variations of image, for instance. And by running 12 various different images, we get to see which ones are working best and then focus the effort into that. And similarly, you can do the same with your text, with your copy. Use some copy that's soft sell, use some that's a lot more direct, and see which works best for you and your particular market. So all we need to do now is click here to confirm, and in confirming that, we're actually setting up the ad campaign. So let's just track back through how we did this. Yeah. So we started off on LinkedIn. And we started here on LinkedIn by putting up a post and hoping that somebody would like, comment, or share that post, in which case we'd be able to say thank you very much, go and have a look, and get some more details. Or alternately, we just killed that message to Kim, but we could have done it with messaging, so literally going to either search or our network and finding people that we wanted to send messages to. So let's go back here and we'll do this again, the people search. So here we are in Plymouth, first connections. So we're not in Plymouth yet. So first connections in Plymouth, and we want people who are business owners. So let's get this. No, we need to do it up here. Sorry, guys. I use Sales Navigator now for this more than I use. So business owner in Plymouth, first connection, 600 results. So we can start looking through all of these business connections, but it could be that we were looking for directors. It could be we're looking for finance directors. It could be all sorts of people that we're looking for. And then from there, we can start saying, right, we'll message these individuals, just in the same way as I messaged Kim. So we've either got the post and then the likes, comments, and shares from that post, going to those people and messaging them. So two different ways around there. We get the direct link from the post, and we get the people that have liked it. We've got people here that we go through and say, yep, fantastic, John Ross looks like exactly the kind of person, so we'll send John a message. Either way round, they've landed here on this page. And we could swap out this page. In fact, let's just do this for the hell of it a second, so that it looks a bit more in keeping with the rest of the. It's very simple on this particular system, this Divi system. Whenever it loads, waiting, still waiting. Is it going to let us edit? There it is. So in here. Is it in here? I'm trying to remember where we've got that. There's that image. So we could swap out, oops, that image and put this one in instead, set that as the background, save it, and preview it at the very least. And now you can see what it would look like. So we've got the image that was on LinkedIn, and then the image that's here, we just rearrange the text a little bit, so we're reinforcing the message with the image. And then as you saw, we had the ad, and the ad used that exact same, there it is, that exact same image. So we've got the image on LinkedIn, image on the website, image on the ad. Yep, so that reinforcement as it goes through. And that was it. So we went to the page. On the page, we pixeled them using the pixel. We created the audience back here in Ad Manager, and then we used the audience to create an ad. We ran the ad. Could it be any simpler? Yeah. The question is, the only other question I can think of right now is, well, what if you don't have a B2B business? You have a B2C business where you want to attract all the photographers in Torbay, and that does come down to, well, we go back to Ads Manager and we create another ad. Let's go back here, and we would be creating a general ad. So that is a general ad. This one we were. For some reason, I don't think it actually published, but I'm not really concerned about that. As I said, what I'm most concerned about here is showing you the principle. So we would go back to Ads Manager, create an ad, and we would then run an ad in the way that you might otherwise boost a post. So here we are on the 6 o'clock club, and I'll show you one that I did earlier. As soon as it loads. So this was the ad that we ran for this particular webinar, which reached 2,500 people, 52 engagements. I've had lots of people message me to say can't make tonight, but they want to be notified and see the replay. Fantastic. There we are. Somebody that couldn't make the live but is making the live. And so this was the ad. So this was just a general ad. This was run to an audience of people that are previously connected with my business. But it could have been run to people that were in the Plymouth area, people that were in Exeter, and they all liked motorcycling. I mean, that's your standard Facebook advertising. So that run through LinkedIn or a standard ad like this, running through to your website, running off your website using the pixel. There's a very clever bit up here, the Facebook pixel. Running from that into an audience on Ad Manager, running from that into an ad that is specifically targeted at people that have visited that secret landing page. So that's a hot audience. So I hope that's been useful. If you have any questions, this is anybody that buys into the webinar. Obviously, you're going to my secret group. This is going to go into the secret group, and you'll be able to ask questions in that secret group. Those people that are actually on the webinar live right now, what I'm going to do is close down the recording, and I'll answer your questions, but we'll keep them off the recording if that's okay with you. So very simple, very, very, very effective, very cheap. We saw here, this was sort of spending £1 or £2 a day for, and if you're looking at sort of 500 visitors, onto a website, you're only looking at a couple of pounds, £3 a day advertising. So if you can get this up from your LinkedIn activity or from your general posting, your general pointing people at that page, the retargeting of it is cheap as chips, highly, highly effective. People rarely buy on the first instance. They like to go away and think about it, or in the meantime they've dropped their phone, or the bus has turned up, the kids have started crying, whatever it is, they've been distracted somewhere along the line. So having that second bite of the cherry, being able to give them a retargeted ad like this is just fantastic. So there we go. Thank you very much for watching, everybody that was watching, and obviously any questions from the result of this, those people that buy into it, message me or see it in the group, and that's it. Thank you very much.